Hello, welcome back to Epichorrorfans. We're going to review Godzilla King of the Monsters today. So what did you think, JTISREBORN, of Godzilla King of the Monsters?
Well, thank you for having me, Sexy Danny 21 Awesome. It's good to be back talking about the MonsterVerse, because we, like, was it 2 years ago? We've reviewed Godzilla 2014. We reviewed Kong Skull Island. Now we're at the third entry in the MonsterVerse, and obviously next year we're going to talk about Godzilla versus Kong when that drops. But
that's going to be amazing.
That's going to be amazing. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. I mean, you see him like right behind me right there. I got a fucking Godzilla dehumidifier. I've got like Godzilla shirt on right now. I actually, before we recorded this thing, just got back from seeing the movie in theaters for a fifth time. So I absolutely love this. Been a huge Godzilla fan my whole life, and I really love King of the Monsters. In fact, the more I watch it, the more I enjoy it. I understand some of its faults, but there comes a point where I'm just like, I just don't care. I absolutely adore this movie. I love it so much. I really do. I'm just too excited, but I haven't heard what you had to say about the movie, so that's what I'm excited about.
Okay, first of all, I thought this movie was really good. I really did. But I still think the first movie was better, because I feel like the human characters were like better in the first one. But you know, because like I had a more of a connection to them. But I did like this movie a lot. And
yeah.
And this one definitely focuses more on the monsters than the humans.
Mm-hmm.
And there is kind of like a monster overload in this movie, because there's so many monsters at one time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of monsters in this movie.
Absolutely. And Godzilla himself has his own little hero's journey, because the first movie is kind of just there to restore balance, but Godzilla actually has his own little hero's journey throughout the movie, where he has to ascend to becoming king of the monsters. Like, he has like so we got the classic Toho monsters in this time. We had the Mutos in the last movie, and even in fact, one of the Mutos, like another Muto, shows up like at the end of this movie in kind of a brief little cameo. I guess full spoilers. I mean, it's been out for a month or so. But I really like this one, because like it dives more into the myths. It's obviously part of a shared universe, which they've been setting up. You know, you had Godzilla 2014, then you had Kong Skull Island, and then you obviously have this film. So it's building onto the MonsterVerse mythology. And the whole point of this movie is about humans learning to coexist with Godzilla and the Titans, which is what, Dr. Serizawa has been trying to establish. You have Kyle Chandler, who's kind of just disgruntled and blames Godzilla for the death of his son. You have Vera Farmiga, who's just absolutely like insane, along with Charles Dance as this eco-terrorist. But I like this one more because it's paced better. It doesn't have as much teasing. The nods and callbacks. This is made by a diehard Godzilla fan. Mike Doherty, who directed this, also directed Krampus, and he also directed Trigger.
Really? He made Krampus? That movie was awesome.
He made that.
I own that movie.
Yes, and he made Trick or Treat. So two movies I really love. And he had a lot of passion and heart in this movie. I mean, in fact, the monsters each have their unique personalities. Godzilla, this is the best version of King Ghidorah that I've ever seen on screen. Ghidorah, his design is improved. He's got, each head has their own distinct personality. So like the right head's kind of just like serious game face. The middle head's kind of the alpha of the head, just like the older brother. And the left head's kind of like a goofball idiot, which I love. And the fandom has dubbed him, the left head's name, as Kevin, which is pretty funny. Even the director is like, okay, the left head's name is officially Kevin, and all the memes and jokes about it. Godzilla's journey throughout this film to ascending to King of the Monsters, you see him kind of getting his like ass handed to him, and he has to learn to like work together with humans in order to defeat Ghidorah, which I really loved. There's that really powerful scene where Ken Watanabe, it mirrors the original 1954 film, where Ken Watanabe's Dr. Serizawa, because in the original film, you had Dr. Serizawa launching the oxygen destroyer device to kill the original Godzilla, and he sacrifices himself so that his weapon, because he knows that if this device works, people are going to ask him to build another one. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to have this power unleashed. He's like, okay, it's far too dangerous to be kept around. So you have Serizawa sacrificing himself to kill Godzilla in the original. And in this one, you have Serizawa sacrificing himself to save Godzilla. And you have that nice little emotional connection between Ken Watanabe and Godzilla, because Ken Watanabe's character believes that Godzilla is the key to coexistence. throughout this world, because it's like the world's kind of in a shambles right now. You have all these different titans, and it's like we might as well get behind one that we think will be a protector and, you know, is there to restore balance. So I like that aspect too. And plus, you got other classic Toho monsters. You have Rodan, who is in essence the Starscream of the movie, and his personality is great and fleshed out. And he's got like some beautiful cinematography. I think the shots in this movie, like every single shot of the monsters, looks like a Renaissance painting come to life. You have King Ghidorah. I mean, holy shit, this is the best version of King Ghidorah. Like, you have this ancient rivalry between Godzilla and Ghidorah. He can regrow limbs. There's that epic shot where he like is standing on top of the volcano and you see like the crucifix on the ground. It's like straight out of like Book of Revelations, and it's haunting. Like, you just sit there and you're just like, whoa. The musical score by Mira McCreary, they incorporated the classic themes. They even have Go Go Godzilla in there, like a remix of the Blue Oyster Cult, or a cover. It's great. And Mothra's in there too. Like, just the shots of her in that, just beautiful cinematography. Her symbiosis with Godzilla to achieve the burning Godzilla form was great and spectacular. Battles are outstanding. It's paced very well. Every time I see it, I enjoy it more. So I'll let you go ahead and talk for a bit, because I'm going goo goo gaga over the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really great movie, and I do really like it. I think it's really good. I did like the first one a little bit better though, because like the human characters were more fleshed out more, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I did like that, and I know that like
because the monsters are characters too.
Yeah, I know that you personally like this one better because it concentrated more on the monsters than the human.
Right, and I felt like the humans this time around were better, because the first one we had Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston's like arguably like the best human character, but he's unfortunately killed off within the first 30 minutes of the movie. And the rest we're stuck with kind of Aaron Taylor Johnson, who is a fine actor on his own, but he's kind of just doesn't really have the personality to carry the movie. Like, Kyle Chandler has a lot more personality, and you got a little bit more exciting supporting cast, and you still have Ken Watanabe back in this time around. And Ken Watanabe is the best human character in both movies.
It was really sad to die though.
Yes, it was. I think it was a bit too soon. If he would have been like at the end of the second act, I think that would have been fine. But the first 30 minutes where all the development goes into him, and then you push him aside, because everybody liked that character. Everyone's like, there's not enough Cranston in that movie. If he was in it till the end.
I talked to my friend Spider Jack Angel, and he said that the thing that bugged him about the first movie was all the cutaways. Like, they would go into the monsters, and then they would cut away, and then they wouldn't show you the whole fight. Where in this movie, they show you the whole fight.
Right. And the fights are more exciting this time around. You have different elements. Like, the first movie, you had the Mutos. One could fly, and they both had their EMP-type weapons. Yeah. But that's just about it. And the fights were... There's some exciting, awesome moments in the first movie. Don't get me wrong. Like, Godzilla first breathing his atomic breath. When he kills...
And the cinematography is fantastic in the first movie, too.
Yeah, it's fantastic in all the MonsterVerse films, if you ask me. Like, the MonsterVerse has some of the best cinematography I've seen. Like, the first Godzilla movie with that Gareth Edwards made, like, I loved the sense of scale with it, and he really puts you in the perspectives. And the build-up to Godzilla's first appearance is spectacular. And the awesome, like, cheering moments, like when Godzilla first unleashes his atomic breath, that's great. When he takes the Muto's head and he just decapitates it by blowing it up like that, I thought that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And in this one, you got awesome moments like that too. Godzilla forming his own, like, burning Godzilla symbiosis form to take down King Ghidorah. I love that, because like the only way he could achieve it is through symbiosis with Mothra, who, like, you know, gives her life to save the day. But I think this one, like I said, there's more spectacular sequences throughout the film. I feel like this one's made more by this is more for like hardcore Godzilla fans.
I think like my only one criticism like of the movie is that there were so many monsters. I mean, I know that you like that they put like everything in it, but like at the same time it was like there was so many. You know,
right? I mean, you really only focused on 4 of them, because there were some that kind of come at the end of the movie to just bow to Godzilla.
Yeah, I mean, I like the whole thing about like Godzilla. Getting them all to bow. I thought that was a pretty cool idea, but like at the same time, I was just kind of like, I don't know. I just wanted to see Godzilla kill everybody.
Well, I mean, Ghidorah. I mean, Ghidorah was the ultimate alpha. Ghidorah. I like that idea that I like how they added new like personality things to Godzilla. Like, for instance, when he's underwater, they do something like an intimidation display method that shows more animalistic characteristics that I haven't really seen. I love that his rivalry with Ghidorah is ancient. Like there's mythology, and that Ghidorah is an alien. So that opens the door up for a whole hell of a lot of possibilities with him being an alien. When he regrew his head back, I was like, what the hell? Because Ghidorah's never done that. I've never seen him regrow back a head.
I think that, and that here's my I don't know for sure, but I think that like Godzilla versus King Kong, I think it's gonna be like I'm pretty sure that Godzilla's the alpha dog.
Yeah.
At the end of this, and King Kong is gonna be the underdog. You know, he's gonna be Rocky.
He's gonna be Rocky to Godzilla's Ivan Drago.
So. Yeah, he's taking on Drago, and that's basically Godzilla. And I'm actually rooting for King Kong for the next movie because I feel like Godzilla's getting so much love that King Kong needs to get some. You know what I mean? Like he needs to get some fan praise too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I love Kong. He's number 2 in my book, but Godzilla's still number 1. I mean, like I said, I'm a big Kong fan. But I'm just more of a Godzilla fan personally.
Yeah, that's the thing though. There's way more fan. There's probably a giant. The fan base for Godzilla is probably way bigger than it is for Kong, and
at least internationally, I'd say so. Domestically, it's definitely more Kong fans, I'd say. Yeah. But Godzilla, I don't know. It's weird because like the Kong fandom is like it doesn't seem as large as the Godzilla one. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of tough if you want to really break every single person down because King Kong has had more of a history in the United States, and Godzilla obviously has had history here too, in North America and stuff. But Kong is more of an American monster, as Godzilla's Japanese. So
I can't wait to see them both fight each other.
Yes,
I mean, it happened before, but this is going to be on a different scale, basically.
Yes, I'm so excited for that movie. I mean, they have teases throughout it. Like there's like the ancient cave paintings in that. It seemed like if you watch the credits, there's a lot of Easter eggs and callbacks. Like if you read the credits closely, like it talks about how Monarch is building their own mechas, so we could potentially see Mecha Godzilla in this universe. Like you see, like
okay, spoiler alert. What do you think the after credit scene means?
Oh man, there's so many potential possibilities of this one. I did a video on it on my own channel. But it's like some people think they'll build Mecha King Ghidorah. Okay. Some people think Ghidorah is going to come back. I heard rumors that the plan for the MonsterVerse was to do one more movie after Godzilla vs. Kong and call it Destroy All Monsters. Yeah. And like in the original Destroy All Monsters, Ghidorah was the big bad, and like the final battle in the movie is like 9 monsters just all going up against King Ghidorah to stop the day. So I don't know exactly where Godzilla vs. Kong. It could be the end of the MonsterVerse, or it could continue afterwards. I know they want to make more, and there's a lot of potential possibility going forward. But the severed head to me seems like it's not going to be for the next movie. It'll be like a movie afterwards. That's at least my interpretation. Or if you remember Charles Dance's character Alan Jonah in the movie, he specializes in collecting Titan DNA. So my theory is they're going to use Ghidorah to create their own Titan. Potentially like another Toho monster, like a Destroyer. And they did use the Oxygen Destroyer, which in the original Heisei era, which is the second series of Godzilla films, a monster named Destroyer was created from the original device used to kill the original Godzilla, the Oxygen Destroyer. So that potential has been set up. And a lot of people have theorized that this monster Destroyer, who looks basically like, a combination of like the alien and the devil, like the xenomorph and the devil, like the design of this thing is just absolutely insane. But I love the design. I'll send you an image afterwards. But like Destroyer could potentially be the big threat that unites Godzilla and Kong. Because if we read the plot synopsis for Godzilla versus Kong, let me just go ahead and pull it up. Because we're going to be talking. In a time when monsters walk the earth, humanity's fight for its future sets Godzilla and Kong on a collision course that will see the two most powerful forces of nature on the planet collide in a spectacular battle for the ages. As Monarch embarks on a perilous mission into uncharted terrain and unearths clues to the Titan's origins, a human conspiracy threatens to wipe the creatures, both good and bad, from the face of the earth forever. So that human conspiracy angle, I'm sure, is something to do with the Titan DNA aspect, and I think they're going to create their own Titan, because even in the credits, it talks about them potentially creating their own Titans, whether it's an original monster or a Toho monster brought back to this big screen. But I love one other thing I really liked about this movie too is diving more into the myths. I mean, they go to fucking, I think it's Atlantis at some point in the movie, and that's Godzilla's lair. We have never seen Godzilla's lair in a movie kind of done like that. It's his own little version of the Batcave. And even if you watch it too, like I fucking saw Pazuzu at one point in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pazuzu statue is just right there. I'm like, what the hell? and just kind of diving into the myths a bit. I like that. I like there's a lot of mystery. I felt like I was going into a level of Tomb Raider. There's just that excitement of just the unknown. Like, okay, what does this all mean? Like, as they talk about in the movie, what, if these ancient ruins could tell the stories, what would they be? So is there like some, because I know they're going to go into the Hollow Earth and potentially unearth clues to the Titans' origins, but I'm not exactly sure like what's going to happen. Are we going to find somebody who's like physically creating these things? Or is there another like thing? Maybe it goes like full HP Lovecraft or whatever, and we get like Cthulhu or something crazy. It's like, I mean,
Okay,
Ghidorah is an alien.
what do you give this out of 10?
The more I see it, the more I like it. I'm like a 9.5, 9.5 out of 10, because I do have a few things that I would have like. There's a few tweaks to get it like that perfect 10 out of 10 movie. I know I've seen it like 5 times. But
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna give it a 9.
A 9?
Yeah, I think it's really good though.
Yeah, I think it's really strong. I'm really excited for the future of this shared universe. I'm sure there's something else I wanted to talk about. I'm trying to draw a blank on it too.
I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna enjoy Godzilla versus King Kong even more, because I really want to see that.
Everybody like wants to see that one. That's the one I feel like it's gonna be like a big blockbuster. It comes out in March of next year, so we don't have that. We should be getting the trailer for this thing. I think because it's a Warner Brothers and Legendary movie, we'll probably get the trailer for this thing in front of either It Chapter 2 or Joker.
Let's be honest. Godzilla versus King Kong is the greatest thing since Batman versus Superman.
It'll be better than Batman vs. Superman. Hopefully people embrace it more. I mean, a lot of people are thinking, like, this kind of sounds like it's going to be the Batman vs. Superman, because when you think about it, Kong is like the Batman of the universe and Godzilla is the Superman of the universe, because Kong's parents were killed by skull crawlers, if you watched, if you do that or if you read the comic books. And then Godzilla's like the Superman, like the symbol that just comes to restore balance to the earth. And he's got all this power. Kong is just the underdog. He just does not give a shit about anybody. Yeah. So I really like that aspect. So
I can't wait to see it.
Yes, I can't wait to see it as well. I think Kong going into that movie is going to be. What do we know from Kong from the other one? He's a loner. He doesn't like other monsters. His life has been. He doesn't really have an emotional connection to Titans per se. He doesn't really have like a pack or like a family anymore. So
he's a lone wolf.
He's a lone wolf, and I think what we saw in the credits is like all the Titans are emerging onto Skull Island because something big is happening on the island. We don't know exactly what it is. Perhaps it is like the true creation of the Titans. Something big is happening on Skull Island. We don't know exactly what, but it's gonna be nuts. And Kong doesn't like it.
I'm just glad that this movie got made, because this movie was amazing, and I really did enjoy it. And you know, regardless of my criticism of this movie, I think every movie has something that you probably don't like about it, but you can look past it because of how awesome it is.
Exactly. Like my issues with it, like when I first saw it, I thought it was a little bit too much going on, but the more I watched it, the less effect it has on me. It's so much being thrown at you at once. It is a lot to digest, but since I've seen it multiple times, it has no effect on me anymore. And Kyle Chandler's character is just too good at everything. Like he just seems to just like he just has a solution for everything. I'm like, he needed to have like some more flaws to him. He needed to not be able to do just everything himself. Because I'm like, oh, we got the military experts. Oh, Kyle Chandler knows this. I'm like, I can understand certain things like animal behaviors or understanding the orca, which, by the way, I love the reference to Jaws that the device is called the orca.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's just so many aspects. The monsters each have their own unique personality. Mothra has hers. The music is great. I love that they included the twin fairies.
And I love the trailer for this movie. The trailer is fantastic.
Yeah, there's trailer 1 and 3 are trailer 2 is okay, I'd say, but trailer 1 where they had Claire de Lune playing, and then trailer 3 they had Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
Just breathtaking.
It got me so excited to see the movie, because if I didn't see that trailer, I probably wouldn't have gone to see the movie. But when they played Somewhere Over the Rainbow, I was like, I'm there, man.
Yeah, the marketing for this movie was beautiful. Like the posters too. Like the posters were top notch. I mean, a lot of posters nowadays for movies suck so badly. Like I'm gonna go see Spider-Man: Far From Home next week, but the posters have been absolutely terrible looking for that movie. I'm like, but the movie I'm sure will be fine. But these posters are garbage. But for Godzilla, like every single poster, I'm like, fuck, I want to buy them all because it looks so great. So, but I'm excited for the future of the MonsterVerse. I hope it does Godzilla vs. Kong does well enough to where we get more films afterwards. There's so many potential possibilities to go with that one. King of the Monsters this is a movie I've wanted to see my whole life because I've grown up, obviously a huge Godzilla fan. I'm like, I never thought I'd see the day where I get like a big budget Ghidorah, Rodan, and Mothra. So for me, this is something I've always wanted to see. So it definitely satisfies that childhood like dream of seeing a movie like this on the big screen. If I saw this as a kid, it would probably like combine with the other Godzilla films. It'd be like my favorite of them all. Yeah. So for me, yeah.
Like I totally agree with you. I mean, like for the fan base, like this is the ultimate dream.
Exactly. This is a movie made by a hardcore fan, and you can tell like. Because the last one, like, it was more made for like more mainstream audiences. That one's more of like a safe Americanized Godzilla film. This one's definitely like, okay, a hardcore fan just made his own little fan film and just was like, okay, I'm just gonna incorporate all these elements, Easter eggs, nods, love of the franchise. You can tell this is made by somebody who by people who love the source material. Absolutely. But yeah, I know I've kind of rambled on and on. I could probably talk about this thing for like another like 2 hours or so, but I'm like, I don't want to just ramble on for so long. But I love it. So
I like it. I loved it too. I'm giving it a 9. You're giving it what were you giving it?
I'm giving it a 9.5 simply because like I want to give it a 10, but I'm like there's just a few things that needed to tweak to get to that 10.
And we'll be back again to review Godzilla vs. King Kong when that comes out.
Yep. So, March 13, 2020.
That's right. We'll be back. And we're also going to have another review on here soon. We're actually going to review...
probably Dr. Sleep or It.
Yeah. Those two also. And we'll also be back to review 3 from Hell in September. Rob Zombie's sequel, Devil's Reject.
Oh, you're calling me on the spot to watch this one. I'm so over Rob Zombie movies right now. I can't stomach 3 from Hell, but I will for It. I definitely will for It.
So we'll be back.
We'll be back for sure. There will be a 3 from Hell review on this channel. If not by me, then by Danny. So.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna review 3 from Hell because the soundtrack I've already listened to it. It's fantastic.
Yes.
So.
All right. Thanks so much for watching. I had fun talking about King of the Monsters, and I look forward to seeing it again. So I've one more.
Well, and I can't wait to review It Chapter 2 with you. That's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, It Chapter 2. Oh, Pennywise.
Oh yeah, Pennywise is back. Anyways, have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you. I guess all those movies are pretty much come down in September, eh?
Right, so and it's like basically the end of June, so like a month or two or something like that.
Yeah, we'll be back in September. So have a great night, everyone.